Good afternoon. It is 3:02, and we're going to call our meeting to order. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ben, if you'll lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
The Texas flag.
All right. The first item on our agenda is a public hearing, and we have citizen comments on the public hearing for the major service change from Clorinda Thomas. Clorinda, are you here? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I skipped. Phil. I wrote Clorinda on the wrong place.
Okay.
Welcome to Phil.
Hi, Phil.
Hello. My name is Phil Dupler. I am the Director of Planning at you get stuck on the right slide. I'm Phil Dupler. I'm Director of Planning at Trinity Metro, and I'm going to be presenting the recommended change to Route 30 Centerport. It's is item BA 2026-43 on page 3. This slide shows the same. This is the same methodology that we follow every service change. The agency is always on the lookout for ways to improve efficiency. In this case, current contract for services on Route 30 and TRE Link runs out in September. So we looked at a number of different alternatives to restructure that service before entering into a new contract in October, that contract is with ECHO, which is on your consent agenda today. As concerns Route 30, the recommended change happens to be more than 25% of the total route miles, and thus is a major service change. Title VI analysis was done and revealed that there are no disparate impacts nor disproportionate burdens. I'm sorry, this slide is a typo. This is actually for the September service change, but the major service change in this case only affects one route, Route 30. The ridership on Route 30 is actually less than 0.3% of the total fixed route bus ridership. It's very small. And this graph actually represents the percentage of riders that are the total of Route 30 riders that are impacted, just a little under half. So Route 30 has 3 buses operating on 3 loops, connecting passengers from Centerport Station to employers around the business park. Ridership on those loops have not returned to normal following the COVID-19 pandemic, and so we're proposing to discontinue 2 of the 3 loops on Route 30. The East Loop, shown in red hash marks, actually that's the one that would be left without any bus service, but the Amon Carter Loop in yellow in the center is also the path taken by the TRE Link, and the TRE Link that one will actually continue, and so they'll continue to have service on Amon Carter Boulevard. The West Loop is the one that serves the American Airlines headquarters, and that is the largest employer in the area, and that would actually remain unchanged. So when evaluated individually, the cost per passenger for the East Loop and Amon Carter loops are double to triple the cost per passenger of the West Loop. And also this route particularly ties up 3 buses all day to provide just AM and PM peak service. 2 of those buses are nearing the end of their life, and thus we're also considering our fleet management. So staff conducted a survey in the Centerport area back in April to gather some information on the Centerport riders, which then informed our recommendation and our public outreach which we did on the Centerport platform last month. We just went out there and set up a table in the afternoon and rather than trying to find a place to have a public meeting. We found it very effective. We actually talked to about 28 people that came by our table to discuss the proposed changes. Most of those happen to be West Loop riders, as we've mentioned, because that's the largest volume of the. And then of the riders that were on the Amon Carter and East Loops, their primary concerns were having to walk the last mile to work, either in the weather or feeling unsafe before or after dark. Some expressed concern about the cost of alternatives without a car, and some indicated that they would just no longer ride the TRE to Centerport at all, and they would drive instead. So I've provided you a printout of the unedited written comments that we received to date. Thus, given the small number of riders affected, staff recommends that the Trinity Metro Board of Directors authorizes the President and Chief Executive Officer to discontinue both the East Loop and Amon Carter loops from Route 30 Centerport.
Are there any questions for Phil? Okay. Now we have citizen comment card on this public hearing. Clorinda Thomas, you are free to take the podium. Thank you for being here, and you'll have 3 minutes to share comments, and Christine will keep time, let you know.
Good afternoon, everyone. And speaking on behalf of ECHO AFC Charters, we would like to grant our sincere gratitude for allowing ECHO Charters to be one of the contractors for Trinity Metro. We continue to be people-powered, safety-driven for you guys. So anything that you guys need on our behalf, we're willing to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, great. So board, now we will entertain a motion for, oh, no, I closed public hearing after that. After the motion. I know what I'm doing, Ben. A motion for BA 2026-43, major service change, Route 30 Centerport.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Motion passes.
Now we're going to make a call for the waiver. Motion second.
Motion second.
All in favor?
Oh, all in favor, yes. All in favor. Any opposed? And now it passes, and we close public hearing. Was that right, Joel? Great. My grandmother would be so proud that I have not memorized Robert's Rules of Order just yet. Okay, and now we have come to place on the agenda for any additional citizen comments. I don't have any cards, but if there are any citizen comments today, if you would head to the podium, and Christine will take your card. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next agenda item. Meeting minutes, approval of the May 18th.
Move to approve. Second. Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Great. Meeting minutes are approved. Next, we have information item and reports. We'll start with Brad on TexRail and TRE ridership.
Good afternoon, board members. I'm Brad Beeson, manager of rail. I'm here today to report on the ridership and on-time performance for the month of May 2026 for TexRail and TRE. This information is in your package on 10 and 11. TexRail continues to steam ahead in ridership. For May, we had 86,940 riders. This equates to an increase over last May of 14,263 more rides, equaling a 19.62% increase. We attribute this increase to more people starting to find out about TexRail still, and with the ridership coming off Silver Line and special events. Last month, I mentioned that the Main Street Grapevine had their Main Street Fest. That alone brought in 11,411 rides for an increase of 3,000 riders over 2025. So just more and more people are jumping on. The OTP for the month came in just below our set goal, but we attribute this to several weather incidents, and then we had a rail incident. But the final OTP for the month was still 97.95%, so we almost hit the 98% goal we have. TRE had just under 104,000 riders last month. This equates to roughly a 4.7% decrease over last year. Once again, we look at this as playoff games for the Stars and the Mavericks. Obviously, them not being in there, it equates to about 3 or 4 games. We have started to notice, looking at rider trends, we were thinking that with the price of gas and stuff going up, we would start to see more. We have not seen that yet, so we're starting to look at, maybe a possible schedule change or something of that nature to see how we can level that out. They did, however, come in at 99.24% on time, so that was great for them. Transportation safety has now reached 3,077 days injury-free. Herzog deserves all the praise for this. They are a great team out there. They keep performing at such a high level with making safety their number one priority. World Cup is here. Obviously, everybody sees that. We just had game 1 of 9. And though we didn't have the anticipated ridership we were hoping for, we did a great job as a team. We had to make adjustments on the go, and our team performed greatly. And we're looking forward to game 2 on Wednesday. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Brad.
All right.
And now bus and on-demand ridership and on-time performance update. Ron?
Good afternoon, Board. I'm your Director of Operations. My name is Ron Newman. If you turn to page 14 of your packet, I'll go over some of these numbers with you. Starting with miles between roll calls, you'll notice that bus fell just slightly below our goal. We like that number to be a little bit higher. Of course, anything above 9,000 is what we're after. A little bit older fleet causes a little bit more roll calls for the month of May. Preventable collisions, as we run more, that number will tend to go down. We had a couple incidences in May. Safety events, a little bit higher. Down to bus OTP performance. OTP is trending up still, so operators are crushing it out there, getting those buses running on time, which is not easy to do in traffic, considering school is out and summer is here. With that trend, also, ridership is up, which is good. So summer ridership, people are moving around. I'll talk a little bit about ridership when I get to microtransit also. But in-house, we're doing very good. Turning to page 15, let's look at paratransit. Paratransit trending OTP is up even from last year, which is good. Ridership is actually on the increase, so more and more people are using our paratransit service. Leaning into microtransit on page 16, you'll see that the OTP is down on that, so we're taking a little bit hit for paratransit, keeping on time. Demand is a little bit higher. Also, with the ridership decreasing, is still higher than last year. I know that doesn't make kind of sense, but we're still a little bit higher than we were last year, which is good. Pushing into page 17 for micro, the cuts we did back in February, the 40% reduction, that's what I want to talk to, which is pushing up the ridership in a fixed route. So most of our normal riders are coming back to fixed route. When you cut one, they tend to ride another. So that's kind of why there's a little oblong there. Hopefully that makes sense. Doing good. Their OTP is getting a little bit better. There was a small hiring freeze that they had last month. We expect 12 more operators coming through this next class, which should boost that OTP up. It also should bring up that ridership just a little bit. People have less time to wait, more operators out there, better service for the customer. Thank you for listening. I'll answer any questions you got at this time. Yes, sir.
Madam Chair, just a quick comment. I want to give a credit to both our operations team as well as our planning team for the care that they've exercised in the stewardship and leadership over our fixed route system. There's been a lot of intentional conversation about how we grow that part of the business, a part of the business that has been a little bit flat as of late, but we're by sort of going back and revisiting the routes and the service frequencies and then making trade-offs between on-demand and fixed route. What we're seeing is the result. People are choosing to use fixed route service. This is great. It's actually a part of our business that we can add riders to and not increase our costs. So great job, Ron.
I'll pat him on the back for you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Annette, Fort Worth ISD and Trinity Metro partnership update.
Good afternoon, board members. Annette Landeros, Chief Strategy Officer. I'm excited to provide an update at the end of year one of our pilot program with Fort Worth Independent School District. As some of you may recall, about a year ago, we approached with the idea that was really an idea from Trinity Metro on how we could better support our local ISD. So we approached Fort Worth ISD and offered a pilot program opportunity where we would allow high school students to ride for free on our fixed route bus and train systems. This was a wonderful collaboration that allowed us to work very closely with Fort Worth ISD staff. We received tremendous support from our previous superintendent, Karen Molinar, and the board of directors approval, as well as y'all's approval, and staff came together to figure out the data sharing agreement and how we were able to pre-register all Fort Worth ISD high school students within GoPass. So all the high school student had to do was download the app and enter their Fort Worth ISD email, and they would already automatically be enrolled in a program that would allow them to ride for free. So it did take us a little bit longer to actually get the program implemented, mainly because of the data sharing and just making sure that we had all of that ironed out. So by the time, truly, when we got ramped up, it was around December when everybody was programmed and eligible to be in there. So the numbers I'm providing are from December 10th through April 30th, just a little snapshot of what we were able to accomplish. So there was 21,000 students that were eligible to ride, whose emails we were given. We had 294 students download GoPass, and average active monthly users was about 100 students each month. But I know that sounds like very few, but we also want to share that of those average monthly users of about 100 students, they generated 7,647 rides. So while it wasn't a large number of students that were perhaps using the free passes, the ones that were using it extensively. This was something that we were really surprised by, but really excited to be able to support students in this way. We do recognize that there is a lot going on at Fort Worth ISD and that perhaps this coming school year we could do a little bit better job on the marketing standpoint. We think that there was a lot of students that maybe just weren't aware, so we're going to make sure we're talking to our new superintendent, Dr. Licata, just really on what we can do to amplify the program. I am excited to share also that Fort Worth ISD named us Partner of the Year, which we graciously accepted, just their way to demonstrate that they really appreciate the program. Rich and I have gone to meet with Superintendent Licata. He wants to fully support this. He's asked that we present in front of their board of managers just so that they're all aware. He wants them to be aware of this incredible opportunity being offered to students so they can also support. But we are going to make sure in the back to school activities that Trinity Metro's information is included in there. So we're really excited about that, to renew for a new school year and to continue to spread the word about this great service. We are also having discussions and pursuing potential grant opportunities to support the costs associated. But this is, just to clarify, free to the school district. if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Yes.
Do you have a breakdown of the 100 monthly riders and what schools they're moving from?
No, but that would be very interesting. We can definitely do that. I think we have to, so the way that we need to go back to the schools is we have their email addresses, but we tried as much as possible to limit the amount of personally identifiable information. So we can provide them with email addresses and riders and get with them to do a deeper dive on the data.
I
But great
have
question.
one question and then 2 comments.
Yeah.
My question is for students when does their access terminate? Is it like upon for like senior students? Is it when they graduate? Is it through the summer? But
Currently, it's through July 31st, so
Okay.
those that are already enrolled, they're still active. And yes, we want to support them during the holidays, during the summer months. We want this not necessarily to replace their school transportation that's already available by their school buses or whatever support they're getting from their schools. This is to amplify and fill the gaps, perhaps, if those that live outside of the school bus zones, or to help them with internships, summer activities, summer jobs, whatever it may be. So yes, we want it to be active during the summer. In terms of post-graduation, I think if we stay out the July 31st end date, that would probably be when that ends.
Yep, great.
Are there routes with the 4th IC bus routes that our routes intersect? Have we looked at that?
There are some. So Fort Worth ISD is the school district that best overlaps with our service area. And I know just from example, recently we had Odie Wyatt, their band came and participated in our pep rally. And we were actually checking to see if they could get here on the bus. And there is a route that goes Central State, Route 5 will go right by Odie Wyatt. So I would say some of them are definitely within walking distance, maybe not right at the front, but within a block or so.
Cool.
2 comments. I think Ben and I don't know if anybody else from the board. John, were you at the Trinity? No, were we the only ones at the? I think y'all were. Okay, great. Deetra represented Trinity Metro so beautifully as she accepted the award. And I don't see her in the room, but I wanted to make a public acknowledgement of how graciously she spoke and how cogently she spoke about the partnership and how well she represented the leadership team. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I know you keep saying it's only 100, but 100 is significant. That's like 100 kids who now have access to, and it doesn't cost us hardly anything.
That's right. It absolutely doesn't.
That is absolutely significant, and no number is too small when we're talking about impacting community members' lives.
We completely agree. We just feel like we would love to welcome so many more of the 21,000. But yes, I agree. Thank you.
Great start.
Out of something.
Yes, go right ahead.
Can we look into doing some kind of handoff? I know we have a great partnership with TCC as well. So for our kids that are graduating out of Fort Worth ISD Connection, July 31st, can we give them the pamphlet of, all right, switch over to your TCC email, we still got you?
That's great.
I think that's a great idea. We can definitely, yes, we definitely have board representation that also serves on that board. So we can, that's a great idea. Because so many Fort Worth ISD students do then continue on it for
Be a cool
TCC.
handoff. We still got you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, and I love this idea. So Annette, if you could clarify, if a student is a dual credit student with Fort Worth ISD and they're attending TCC, are they covered under Fort Worth ISD or under TCC, or do you?
That's a great question.
Okay.
We'll have to look at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I mean is, how that's being.
Whether the dual credit students
Right.
are receiving TCC
Yes,
benefits.
because there may be some of those students that are really part of this Fort Worth ISD program that are utilizing, because we have a lot of dual credit students.
Yeah.
So there may be more than 100 is all I'm thinking, so.
That's a great question.
That's
We will
my
get with
question.
our team to look at that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions? Okay, thank
Thanks,
you.
Annette.
Yeah.
Eva, our.
Happy birthday.
Eva, we can sing if you'd like.
That's quite all right. Thank you. Thank you all very much for the lovely song. With that being said, I hope you have grace for me today with this budget I'm presenting to you all. No, just kidding. My name is Eva Williams. I'm the Director of Budget and Grants, and I am here to present the FY27 preliminary budget to you all today. Madam Chair and board members, thank you for having me today. I just want you all to see what we've come up with so far, provide any feedback, so that way when we come back in August, we hopefully have a really tightened up proposed budget for you all to then adopt in September. So today we'll look at an overview, the funding at Trinity Metro, a revenue overview, operating budget, capital projects with the exclusion of our Tex Rail major capital projects, as well as our TRE double track project. That is not inclusive because this is a maintenance budget. It's our regular operating budget, not our major capital budget. Then we'll talk about next steps and what we need from you all for the budget development process to continue. So again, we're seeking your input. We're planning to take a deep dive based on your comments today for the proposed budget. We'll bring back to you all in August. And then just know that this is a work in progress. Things can be changed based on what you see today. It does not include our final tax numbers, but we think we have a pretty good handle on it at this point. But obviously, we'll go back to ensure that we are right on the money with it. And then we're continuing to work with capital and refining some of our requests that we received so far. And one of the things that we definitely kept in mind with this budget process is aligning it with our budget, with our, agency values, which are innovation, safety, reliability, sustainability, fairness, and integrity. And I truly believe you all will see that with the budget today. Board members, in front of you, there is a copy of our preliminary budget. So some good reading for you, just in your spare time for you to look at. But please take them home, look at them, provide feedback. You all can reach out to Christine and she'll get in contact with Greg or I or Alex, and we'll answer any questions that you all have. With that, we'll move into our funding here at Trinity Metro. For those of you that are not familiar, about 95% of our operations are covered with our sales tax revenue. And then we have partnerships, which are incredibly important for us, as well as the federal and COG and with the cities that we partner with. Something recently that just happened is we were able to get some additional funding to fund our Tex Rail extension program. And that came from a partnership that we have with the COG as well as our federal partners at the FTA. And so partnerships are very important for us. Again, the majority of our capital funds, they're generated by pooling and leveraging grants, and we're continuing to look into ways where we can stretch that even further with expanded partnerships with maybe some non-traditional type of revenue sources and partnerships. So looking at our revenues and expenditures, we're approximately at $202 million in revenues and $201.8 million in expenditures. Again, that is excluding our capital accounts. One thing that we did see is an increase of 3.45% over our FY26 budget when preparing this preliminary budget. So our operating budget and how it's organized is really to serve as a desk manual for staff here at Trinity Metro. And what we tried to do in this presentation today is really present a consolidated look at our business units, especially by function. So you'll see some that are grouped together and some that are separated out. Again, we're at the 202.2 for our revenue budget. Again, our top categories there are our sales tax and our grants. Our expenditure category, that is $201 million, and the largest categories there include personnel, purchase transportation, professional services, and insurance. Now we're moving into the functional department groupings. Some of these will be pretty fast because, again, we're trying to present a maintenance budget, so there has not been any major increases, but if there are, I will notate that in my notes. So with the administration, we're at $1.7 million with 7 FTEs. Finance, we're at 5.3 with 23 FTEs. And now this one, you will see a bit of a spike under insurance. That's because our risk team has moved under the finance department. And so with that comes all of the things related to risk. So that's the big jump that you see there on the insurance side. The finance grouping is inclusive of accounting, finance, and risk. Information technology, this is another area where you'll see a big jump in our services area, and that is because we need to take care of some major IT maintenance to make sure that we remain safe. I will say and give a nod to our IT team. We had favorable comments from our FTA personnel that joined us at Triennial last week about how impressed they were with our IT. So we want to make sure that we are remaining safe, especially in this ever-changing digital environment. Human resources, there is another slight jump there, and that's due to inclusion of a comp study for the upcoming year. Bike share is at $883,000 with 7 FTEs, remains relatively flat. Some of these personnel increases are due to just the staff vacancies being filled over the last year. Same with the Wellness Center. Purchasing is overall flat at $2 million with 21 FTEs, and that's inclusive of our procurement team and our material management team. Here's another grouping that we have is a strategy team, or I think they call themselves CAMP. But it's the planning, project management, and government relations team, and they're right at $4.2 million with 13 FTEs. Those service increases are inclusive of GR support as well as our, and when I say GR, government relations, and GPC, our general planning contractor services. Our customer support group is relatively flat as well. It's inclusive of customer care, our Envoy program, as well as customer relations. Marketing, actually we see a slight reduction in our services there, and that's just a few contracts that we've reduced, again, to try to keep our budget in balance so that we can fund our major capital projects. But we will still have the same level of outreach. Van pool, relatively flat. We have our regular van pool as well as our JARC van pool, which is Job Access Reverse Commute, if you're curious as to what JARC means. TexRail, we're flat there with 3 FTEs. Trinity Rail Express, same here, $23 million with 2 FTEs. Safety and security at 3.4 with 2 FTEs. Moving into bus and bus support, we're at $35 million here. This is another area where you'll see the personnel increase, and that is inclusive of our contractual obligations with our MATS contracts. That's inclusive of bus operations, administration, bus street operations, bus radio control, as well as our bus operations. Contracted services at $2.6 million with 3 FTEs. And that is inclusive of our Northeast Transportation Services Program, or commonly known as NETS, as well as our Tarrant County Transportation Services Program, which is known as TCTS. And then we have our contracted services team. On-demand, now this is an area I want to go into a little bit more, and Ron spoke on it earlier, but with our on-demand, this is on-demand micro. So we did, as you all know, I've been reporting on how we've seen a spike in our paratransit services. And so what we did is looked at our micro budget and worked with the team to come up with a way that we can still provide those life-sustaining rides for our paratransit customers. And so this is where a lot of that funding came from in order for us to do that. But I will say our team is making sure that our micro services aren't harmed too much, but we just want to make sure for our paratransit folks that we're taking care of them. So that is where you see this dip here with the on-demand microtransit, which is inclusive of all of these particular zones that we serve. And then in paratransit, you'll see the increase there. So we're at 18.1 with 65 FTEs. And that's inclusive of our administration team as well as the operation team. Vehicle maintenance, we're doing well there. Their personnel's growth there is also attributed to the MATS contractual increase. That's inclusive of the admin team, paratransit maintenance, engine shop, body shop, electronics, running repair, as well as, well, the service rack is not there, but we did leave it there for a reference, prior year reference. Facilities maintenance, again, we have position vacancies that were filled over the last year, and so that's where you see those increases. They're at 8.1 with 52 FTEs. Non-departmental, this is another area where you will see a bit of a reduction for our capital outlay. And that is in part due to, we had those one-time revenue sources to come in through Silverline, our debt financing, and then, yes, the Silverline and debt financing. And moving on to our capital, these are our operational capital budget, operational capital projects that we are proposing for the year ahead. And again, they fall within that, the values that we have established for our agency. And we think we've done a great job of that, but obviously if you all have any feedback, we'll be happy to hear from you all. And we're at 21 million with these projects. So over the next couple of months, we will continue refining, looking for more efficiencies. Obviously, you all know we are still working to build up our, building up our reserve account. And so we are continuing to look for those, and we'll be back in front of you all in August to present a proposed budget. And then, good thing how efficient we are, right, Alex? Greg's going to present to the board today about the debt program, so you can't cross that off the list. And then we'll come back in September for budget adoption. Before wrapping up the presentation, I do want to thank the departments for working with us. I know it's kind of hard to squeeze blood out of a turnip. We always ask them, hey, look at your budget, comb the budget. And it's like, we've done it. There's nothing else. We have no hair. So, but I just want to thank them for working with us on that. And I have to say this, Alex, please stand up. Alexander Ingebrigtsen, our budget analyst, was a crucial key to the success of this budget process. He worked closely with the departments. He was like so available and accessible, and I just want to thank him for all the work he did. He prepared the books that are in front of you, the presentation. Like, he's done an amazing job, and I'm just so happy to have him on the team. Thank you, Alex. And with that, I will open the floor to any questions or comments that you all have. Please be nice to me.
Good job. Thanks. I just have one question, and I know that the year-over-year numbers are right here in front of me, but my math brain does not work this fast.
Okay.
You said that this budget represents, this projected budget or preliminary budget,
3.
proposed budget, one of those keywords, represents a roughly 3.5% increase over the previous year. Is that typical, that level of increase?
Well, with that we have seen an increase, in our sales tax as well. And so that has been helpful. That will attribute to this as well. But I can take a deeper dive into it, is what I can do, and get that to you. But I mean, overall, we've seen an increase. We've gotten a lot of our operating grants submitted this year, which has been fantastic. We're pretty much caught up on that. So there are several factors to that. And then we've also done better with our spending, again, because we've kept Texarkana TRE like top of mind. So that
And
also.
because you told all the departments they can't spend any more money.
I know. Even No Williams.
I mean, it's your birthday, and I'd rather roast Greg, but is there anything in this that you're nervous about, or that you really want us to think about in the next little bit?
Honestly, no. I will say that the team has done a phenomenal job. They have worked with us. I know it was like pulling teeth. Some people are like, oh my gosh, you always ask us to do it. So I truly don't.
Okay.
And our leadership team is making sure that we also, hold steady to what we have here, which is really why it's a maintenance budget. We really didn't change much. We just kind of accommodated for those areas that we did see spikes, like with the on-demand, micro and para.
Awesome.
Isaac?
This is more of a Reed question, but is 15 new buses enough? I mean, I feel like we're spending a lot on these maintenance hours, and if we kind of put a little more into our buses, maybe we could squeeze some more out of that. I don't know, just.
We're gonna make 15 enough this year. No, it's not.
Right. I think we need to start thinking about that
So
more
we-
aggressively.
You want to grab so people at home can see it?
Sorry to pull you in. I know you're comfortable.
Good afternoon. Reed Lanham, Chief Operating Officer, not very familiar with speaking during the finance portion. No. To your question, 15 is not enough to fix all the issues, right? And I don't want to make it sound like they're insurmountable issues, because you see we're putting high-quality service out on the road every day. But we also can't purchase them all at once. Then you get yourself into trouble down the road when all of those vehicles, their useful life and their maintenance issues all start kicking off at the same time. So we've got to be smart about this, and this is part of the process. So while they are greatly needed and won't solve every problem, buddy, they're much needed.
But we're not starting that stage in
We
the
are.
process.
That's
Okay.
correct.
And this is enough for our calculus going forward.
This is going to do nothing but help, and you're going to see some of those numbers that Ron gave earlier just go way up, right, Ron? That's what I'm talking about. So,
Thanks, Reed.
yes.
Any other questions for Eva?
I have something to share. I promised I would share before we sung Happy Birthday, but I'll do it now. First, I want to give a shout out to Eva, Renata Snipes. Renata, you in the room? Yeah, there you are. And Alex Ingebrigtsen, because we, for the second year in a row, received the Government Finance Officers Association Award for a distinguished budget presentation. Under Greg's leadership, this has been a focus area in terms of bringing greater transparency to the board. So you've noticed over time, we've been adapting our presentation style, speaking differently about our budget process. So congratulations on that. But that's not all. We just concluded, under Eva's leadership, a very important Federal Transit Administration triennial review. You heard Eva mention that. The reason that's really important is that all of our grant funds, we need the positive audit, because that is a key condition of us continuing to be able to receive those grant funds. And so it was an organization-wide effort. It touched every area of this company. I'll just highlight a few: procurement, safety, cybersecurity, operations, maintenance, ADA accessibility, on and on and on. And it was truly a team effort across the organization. Eva led it with Sonia Harris. And just congratulations, Eva. A very successful outcome. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to the team. Thank you.
And Richie, Tex Rail Extension, CMAR update.
I had a quick question. Is there a way to get these digitally instead of in paper?
Yeah, we can make them available, yes.
Good afternoon, Board. I'm Richie Thompson. I'm the Chief Engineer for Trinity Metro. If you turn to page 20, we're going to talk about Board Action 2026-40, which is the text row extension, dealing with the construction manager at risk. Today's item is another critical step for Trinity Metro to begin construction and complete the text row extension project. As most of you are aware, Trinity Metro entered into a construction manager at risk (CMAR) contract with Fort Worth Transit Partners in June of 2023. In November of 2025, the board, y'all approved BA 2026-22, which included GMP 1, which is guaranteed maximum price number 1, which was for long lead procurement items, mainly early work packages, consisting of special track work and the UPR bridge construction. And that basically revised the approved not to exceed total contract amount of the CMAR contract to $33,115,643. The CMAR has completed the solicitation process for the remaining work packages, which it will make up GMP 2. And Trinity Metro and the CMAR have negotiated a fair and reasonable price for the remaining work. GMP 2 consists of track construction, and it includes both passenger and freight track construction, passenger signal and communication design and installations, the overall civil construction to complete the project, drill shafts, and station and parking right construction. Approval of this action will allow the CMAR to secure pricing from the subcontractors for the GMP2 work packages, and we are anticipating a notice to proceed for construction targeted for the beginning of November of 2026. Overall construction is currently estimated to take 3 years to complete once we begin. Saying that, we recommend the Trinity Metro Board of Directors authorizes the President and Chief Executive Officer to execute a supplemental agreement with Fort Worth Transit Partners for GMP2 in the amount of $147,485,056.90, with a 5% contingency in the amount of $7,374,252.85, for a total of $154,859,309.75, along with the previously approved not to exceed amount of $33,115,642.82 from BA 2023-31 and BA 26-2022 for a revised total not to exceed amount of $187,974,952.57. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I just want to make a statement, Richie. I mean, you've been in the weeds on this for what seems like a decade.
Yes, sir.
And while we're not going to sing happy birthday to you, I just want to acknowledge that our system is better because of people like you and what you represented here. And I just want to thank you personally for all of this headache. And I hope you're right there with us, cutting the ribbon at the end of this and celebrating it and still, like all of us.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's a big day. So.
Any other questions? Okay, motion?
Motion to approve.
Any questions?
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
I can go ahead and recuse myself just as a CYA.
Thank you. Great. All, I got it, Michael. Don't go for city council, wait at me. You're just ready to go. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Great, motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
We have a few consent items, BA.
Joel? Do we read the consent items?
No.
Read just the BAs.
Just the numbers.
Just the BAs.
They're mansplaining up here. I'm trying to tell you what's up. BA 2026-37, BA 2026-38, BA 2026-39, BA 2026-41, and BA 2026-42.
Perfect, move to approve.
Any discussion?
Yeah. On 37, does that actually work? I'm sorry, because I always hear complaints about the airport like, I don't know, is that working? Can anyone, does that, I know we just canceled a bus route because we're keeping this one, but I don't know. Okay, cool. Then, no questions other than that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I feel like we are speeding.
Great, thank you. And Greg, resolution. Motion passes. Thank you. Well, he's the attorney. We'll let him.
We pay him for that.
I told y'all we bring him for a ride today.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. I'm Greg Jordan, your Chief Financial Officer. We're seeking your approval today for a reimbursement resolution for $60 million. This is consistent with prior discussions we've had around the TexRail extension. As you recall, we spend our money to as the project advances, and then we get reimbursed after those dollars go out. We have a pretty significant grant stream coming into us, but sometimes it does take a minute for those dollars to come in once we spend. This mechanism will give us the opportunity to advance the project without worry so that we can still manage our cash flow appropriately. Again, this is consistent with our prior discussions that we've had around the cash flow of the project. We are seeking your approval. The recommendation of this item is that the Trinity Metro Board of Directors adopt the attached appropriation reimbursement resolution expressing intent to reimburse certain expenditures for capital items supporting commuter rail. With that, I'll answer any questions the board may have.
Okay, no questions. Motion?
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you.
Motion passes. Okay, and it's time for our president's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Permission to mansplain all of these.
It's a great update today, thank you. Okay, so you'll hear in a moment a full update from Reed Lanham and Annette Landeros on the Trinity Metro's World Cup operations and observations from the first match. But I'd like to take just a few minutes to share a mid-year update on all that is happening in 2026. And in my reports earlier this year, I outlined a very extraordinarily productive, busy year we had planned. And in fact, 2026 was shaping up to be one of our busiest years in Trinity Metro history, and I'm pleased to report that we are on track at the midpoint. So just a quick recap, we set and continue to set records on TexRail. We held our inaugural luncheon, and we received extraordinarily positive feedback. We secured funding for and awarded construction contracts, including today's board action, to build both Tier E double track and the TexRail extension projects. We proudly accepted the Texas Transit Association's Outstanding Metropolitan Transit System Award and the Fort Worth ISD's Partner of the Year Award, and we prepared for and successfully transported fans to the first World Cup game. Now that sounds like a busy first half of the year, but the second half of the year is even busier. So we have 4 weeks of World Cup football ahead, serving fans and residents alike with Cowtown shuttles to the Fort Worth Zoo, Fort Worth Botanic Gardens, Fort Worth Stockyards, Rangers baseball games, among so many other destinations. And don't forget. Yes.
That'd be national news.
Yes, it has. Credit to the team for thinking of that. That was not on our early action plan. But in August, we will break ground on the Tier E double track to add 2 miles of additional double track, creating a 4-track double track segment, a 4-mile double track segment. And this is part of a long-term strategy to improve travel time and reliability and capacity between Fort Worth and Dallas. In September, we launched La Línea Rosa, the third installment of our wildly popular color-coded lines. The new route will connect downtown with La Grande Plaza and Fort Worth's second most visited destination. In October, we will break ground on TexRail, the near South Side Medical District extension. This 3-year project will put 50,000 jobs within reach of our regional rail system. In November, we will host hundreds of rail industry leaders in downtown Fort Worth for the Commuter Rail Coalition's annual meeting. This is going to draw public and private sector industry executives, providing a unique opportunity to showcase our innovations in TexRail, transit-oriented to development, and regional collaboration. The trend is clear. Trinity Metro is an agency on the move. We are meeting commitments, delivering value, and setting the stage for more big things to come. Thank you, Trinity Metro Board of Directors, for encouraging us to move ever faster, farther, and to invest and transform our humble transit system into a world-class mobility organization. We have a long way to go towards that vision, but I'm proud to say we are well on our way. And with that, back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Rich. Sorry?
Oh, I said that was great.
Okay, sorry, I wanted to make sure you didn't have any questions. Okay, board members report. This is our time just to hear anything that board members would like to share about anything Trinity Metro related or Trinity Metro adjacent.
I've got one thing. One of the best things I've seen during the World Cup so far is the Japanese tourists on Twitter talking about TexRail in our trains. And according to the Japanese, we have cool trains. So I don't think there could be any higher endorsement than from the random Japanese people on Twitter saying we have cool trains. So we have cool trains.
True. If anybody's ever been to Japan, that means a lot.
Yeah.
Because they had really cool trains for 50 years.
Great. My college daughter is home for the summer, and she is interning at Commissioner Broderick Miles's office. So she was here for the kickoff rally last week. And while she doesn't believe that I do anything meaningful with my time, she came back and was so excited about, like, it was such a great introduction to Trinity Metro. And all the things that she hears me talk about came to life. She had a chance to meet Rich. She got to meet Annette. But her big question of the day was, are there more swag bags? And told me to find her a pen. And so Christine left my swag bag and a pen. I want you to know that you may never see me with those things because Macy's going to take them. But I think to hear a 21-year-old speak so positively about our agency and the experience that she had, us older people know what we do and why we do it, but she and her co-intern were so thrilled and so jazzed. So kudos to the entire leadership team and the operations team who put together the rally. You met the approval of a very critical 21-year-old. You had a blast. Any other? Great.
I'll say real quick, I drove by Sunday to check on things, and it was so cool to see all of y'all out there in the vibe, in the jerseys. I saw Annette from afar. I saw Mike from afar. I thought about stopping, but I felt like I would only make it worse on day one. So I will be volunteering on future days, but I didn't want to be part of the problem while y'all were working through things. But it was so cool to see 800 buses and what looked like 100 volunteers right there in the station, killing it and wearing the hats and doing great things, and I just loved it. So I love y'all.
Thank you, Ben.
And I knew we were going to get into it on your update, but thank you all for putting in the hours that you're putting in because we see it, and thank you.
I think that's a perfect segue into our FIFA World Cup update.
FIFA World Cup.
Annette and Reed.
I have very strong positive feelings towards you as well, Ben.
As do I. Hello, everyone. Annette Landez, Chief Strategy Officer. We are so excited. We are less than 24 hours out of our first World Cup match as Team Trinity Metro. And I think You can feel the sense of pride that we all feel because we've worked so hard, and you all have been a part of those conversations for the last year or two, truly wanting to make sure that not only Trinity Metro shines in the most meaningful way, but that our city, Fort Worth, shines, and I think we truly did accomplish that. So our World Cup festivities began on Friday, June 5th, as we gathered our local leaders and our regional partners together here at Fort Worth Central Station for a kickoff pep rally. We thought, man, we're all working so hard. We just need something to just kind of say we're here, it's starting, and let's just get together and celebrate that we've made it here. And it was truly a remarkable success. I'm really grateful for those who spoke on behalf of Trinity Metro, our President and CEO, Rich Andreski. We had our RTC Director of Transportation, Michael Morris, here with us. The Executive Director of North Texas Dallas World Cup Organizing Committee was also here, Mayor Pro Tem Carlos Flores, Mitch Whitten, the President and CEO of Visit Fort Worth, and every major media channel was there to help broadcast the press release, and it was just incredible. Really, the marketing team did an outstanding job to get the word out, so it became just a citywide celebration as we began this journey together. Before we even started World Cup, helped generate $2.4 million in earned media from that kickoff alone. And so we're really glad for everyone who came out and helped celebrate and set the stage for Trinity Metro as we started this. Additionally, we're proud to share that also very popular with the media are our Cowtown shuttles, which has been generating an incredible buzz, and that has been a strong collaboration between our planning department and our marketing team and AGAL and all of our operations team just to make sure that we are working seamlessly. We are taking advantage of the charter buses that we've contracted to assist us with World Cup movement, and on non-match days, we want to make sure that's very clear, on non-match day movements, we're able to have 3 additional routes that are helping shuttle folks to high interest areas. These are areas that our planning department really focused on what would be of interest, and we knew the Arlington to Stockyards and Sundance Square connection would be really impressive, both moving those that are staying near Texas Live and Choctaw to see the Stockyards, because you don't come to Fort Worth and not see the Stockyards, and Sundance Square, but also those staying in Fort Worth to potentially take advantage of one of the 15 Texas Rangers games or everything happening in Arlington, such as Six Flags and Texas Live. The remarkable showstopper has been the downtown to Buc-ee's and Tanger outlets, because everybody wants to see this gas station phenomenon. Ben has hinted that it made Texas-wide and national news. We are still just this morning doing more interviews about Buc-ee's and how this is really in both English and Spanish about how people are truly very interested in seeing this. And I will say that I know we have talked about how we want to make sure we are always safe, simple, and innovative. I think this just leads into another way that we challenge ourselves to think outside of our normal box and are meeting the needs of our visitors, but also our locals who may be interested in traveling without having to worry about parking. And the last but not least shuttle is the downtown Fort Worth Botanic and Zoo. We have incredible gardens and zoo, and so you can, from Central Station, also catch that there. So we're thrilled by how many news media stations have taken advantage and are allowing Trinity Metro to shine in that way. Additionally, our customer service team has been ramping up and expanding its forces to include everyone that works at Trinity Metro. All of us have gone through customer service training. All of us are now out there on the platform, as you mentioned, working and making sure people know where they're going. We have set up a customer service information center in the storefront where Enterprise used to be. That has been incredibly successful for those that need just a little bit additional customer service attendant, and then also those that are needing to pay in cash. We also had a translator, a Japanese translator, join Team Trinity Metro yesterday, a professional translator. We were all abundantly grateful for him because because he was the clutch player, because there were a lot of folks that did not speak English. And so we were able to work with them and interface with him as their interpreter and made sure that everybody was getting where they needed to go. Additionally, you mentioned our awesome outfits that we had on. We're really grateful for Deetra, who just walked in, who helped design those outfits, and those have been one of the most requested items. We did not realize how popular those would be. A lot of non-Trinity Metro folks have asked whether they can get one as well, and we've mentioned that perhaps after. And so we're just really excited. We feel like Trinity Metro has really put its best foot forward, and we are just done with one of the 9 games. So we're excited to see how we continue to grow as a team. And Reed will tell you a little bit more about moving people.
So Annette had a lot of great numbers there as well, and I'd like to start out with a number as well, and that's 0. So 0 is not only the number of additional planning meetings I was wanting to attend before this finally kicked off, but 0 was the amount of safety incidents, service delays, and service disruptions or security issues that we had yesterday. And that is a testament to our team, to our community as well. So. The TRE performed flawlessly during the match times before and after. And that, there's a lot riding on the TRE right now. We've put a huge focus on that. We've invested money into it, but we're still running equipment that's been around longer than I have. So the fact that we were able to increase the consist size, put more stress on those vehicles, increase the load sizes, run more frequently, the team just did an amazing job making sure that things went smoothly. We had, Brad mentioned earlier, and so did Ben, he said 700 buses. That's another number. That's not quite true. I don't think there was quite 700, but we were definitely prepared. The team has planned for this for a long time. And I will tell you this, preliminary numbers. This is not official. I know this is a public meeting, so Reed Lanham is going on the record as saying this is a non-official number. We're still compiling those. But with all of our services getting people to Centerport to then travel down to the stadium, Trinity Metro carried around 1,600 people yesterday. Again, safely, on time, efficiently, and very smoothly, whatever adjective you want to add in there. So it was a huge success from our end. We were prepared to handle more, which made it a lot easier to handle who did come, right? I truly believe everyone had a great experience when they got here. I was talking to some friends. I know Rich had reached out from around the country at some of these other larger cities that are a little more transit savvy. And they were telling me some of the numbers of people they were moving. And I was like, wow, you don't have to brag like this isn't a competition. But no, they've also got these massive operational staffs of people who do this routinely, and they're operationally minded folks. To me, this is more impressive here. We've taken the entire agency, folks from finance, from marketing, whatever department they come from, and they're stepping up and they're willing to come out there and volunteer and do a fantastic job for our community. So we really did put our best foot forward yesterday. I'm so thankful for everybody in here, even Ron. Ron was great yesterday, absolutely phenomenal. He is key to a lot of this, but the teamwork was fantastic. It was so great to watch everybody and then get to come up here and take credit for it. No, I'm just kidding. It was definitely nothing that we did. Our folks were out there just knocking it out of the park, or kicking it through the net, whatever you want to say. So we've got some pictures up here from yesterday. I would also like to mention, we didn't know what we didn't know. We've said that before we got to begin yesterday. We've learned a lot from our experience yesterday. We will be making some adjustments. Here's a picture of what some have said was probably the best job briefing they've ever attended. The guy giving it's not in the picture. So we learned a lot from yesterday. We're going to make some tweaks to get even better. We understand that not every game is going to be the same. We've got one this Wednesday in the middle of the week. It's going to be a work day. This one was on a Sunday. Traffic was lighter. We're going to have a few more things to deal with. We are prepared for that. So one thing that we did know was that we've got some of the best employees in the transit industry, and they proved it on Sunday. We also, I could not leave this opportunity without mentioning our partners who helped us make this happen. So the folks from Herzog, whether it was TexRail, whether it was TRE, they were absolutely crucial to the success of yesterday's operations. Our partners at Echo, I want to mention the TRE link. I'm not 100% sure on this either. This is preliminary, but we may have set a record yesterday for usage on the TRE link. And that was, again, something we didn't expect. We didn't expect to see a lot of people coming directly from the airport to Centerport, but they were accommodated in a very professional, efficient, safe manner to Centerport. I believe the numbers were around 1,000, over 1,000 total trips. So that's over 500 people that we took back and forth to Centerport Station yesterday, which was great to see. So if anybody has any questions about upcoming games, about how great the team performed, I'd love to answer them now.
Where do you need us?
Again, it's always your support is always the greatest to us, right? And talking about Trinity Metro and what we're doing and being our voice out in the community where we're not sometimes. But if you guys want to come, we will put you to work. I can guarantee you that. If you want to show up Wednesday morning at 9, 10 o'clock, we can find a spot for you. And it really was an enjoyable experience. It was a long day. Some of us stayed throughout from the beginning all the way to the last train got here with the last load of people. And it was very fulfilling to see that. It sounds kind of rough, but it definitely wasn't. So.
We all celebrate the recent, like Fort Worth becoming the 10th largest city in the nation. Like that's a big deal for us, right? But I don't think numbers are an indication of like the quality of life and the don't tell the full story. And also, I think this is the kind of thing that tells a full story. Mayor Parker always talks about Fort Worth being a world-class city. And what is unfolding and what Trinity Metro is contributing to that, that's the proof of what's possible for our city, and I'm just like elated. I'm peacock proud of all that we're doing and the impact that we're having beyond, yes, what we do for our community every day, but also what we're showing that we can do and how we can contribute to our city on a much more global and broader scale. So thank you all.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
No executive. There is no executive session today. I will open the floor for any additional long comments because Michael's ready to go. So we want to. Now is your chance.
I want to be chair. Don't tell Jeff that.
Everyone tell Jeff that. Okay. Well, if that brings us to the end, motion to adjourn. It is 4:14.
That's a really good.
Yes. Is that?
Second.
We approve.